temptation. Oh, plantation. 9 to 5 be the time I was wasting. Man, I feel like I need a vacation. Saving up for my resignation. Why I feel like my manager hating. Ain't the one for no verbal castration. This government ain't giving reparation. We'll go to crime trying to fight the temptation.
Rejoice in tribulations, demonstrate patience in every situation, picking up the pieces to their heart restoration. People broken hearted and in need of salvation. Yeah. We in captivity, we done lost our history. Disconnected from his laws, now there's no integrity. Here's the book and let them see, because they dying in these streets. Walking in darkness and where the carcass is, the eagles be. Walking in darkness and where the carcass around us like vultures. Murder on their mind when they approach us. Let your light shine, watch them scatter like roaches. Babylon falling cause we taking back our culture. Heal our land, Abba now put us back in agriculture. This word burning them up, Romans is a flamethrower. We prophesy destruction, nukes coming, game over. International, continental, ballistic missile. Them bombs dropping like rain, no drizzle. The lake of fire make them sizzle. Showing fruits of the spirit, we don't gather figs of thistles. That's the dog, you know, so just like how you were saying.
Hey, my name is Amani Bright Laws. I'm a travel business owner. My business is Always Shine Bright Travel, where we help you discover your next bright destination. I want to talk to you really quickly today about becoming a travel business owner. Listen, if your passion is traveling, if your passion is exploring the world, if your passion is wanting to travel and explore the world, then you should become a travel business owner, okay? I have 2 easy ways to get started. Less than 1 minute, okay? The first way, up here, our website, travelagentworkshop.com. And please use my sponsor ID, Always Shine Bright, okay? The second way is a text code. Text the word workshop to the number 281-767-9711. And again, reference my sponsor ID, Always Shine Bright, okay? Listen. The workshop is free. It's a free 3-day workshop, which gives you all the information on how to get started to become a travel business owner. Okay. Any questions that you have will get answered within that workshop. Okay. So let me meet you on the money making side of travel, where you can turn your passion into your paycheck.
Y'all know what time it is. It's your boy Chef D-Nail. Over here, guess who's cooking? Good cooking, good eating, good living. Y'all know how we do it every Sunday about this time, man. We're going to get straight to it. We got the chicken and dumplings, all right? We got the perch fish with the mac and cheese, with the yams, with the 5 cheese toast over here on the Texas side. And, of course, we got the world famous turkey tips, all right? We also got, on this one, we got the greens with the turkey tails, and we got the spaghetti. You already know what time it is, man. Hit the link, 773-992-4737 is the phone number to place your order every Sunday, all right? And you can hit us up on the Cash App to make payments at Guess Who's Cooking, the number 2, all right? You can hit the www.guesswho'scooking on the World Wide Web. You can catch us on Facebook Marketplace under Guess Who's Cooking, and of course on TikTok, man, at Guess Who's Cooking. Come on down, get your orders.
Give me shame, I give you peace from underneath. Give me mind and being light to reignite. Can you open up the doors to let me in? Can you open up the doors to let me in? You could put the heart inside, don't tap my head. I can sing the love inside from out my mouth. Tell me what you need to find. Tell me now. Tell me what you need to find.
I know who I am today. And you can't lie to me no more. I'm a child of the Most High. And you the devil, the Bible speaks of. Set my people free. Yeah. Let them go. Let them go. Set my people free. Let them go. Let them go. Tell you the truth, this ain't living. Cause every time we step outside, it's attempted suicide, drive-bys and homicide. It's the everyday norm. Welcome to the eye of the storm, where we at war from the day we born to the day we die. Surrounded in the flesh, drowning in these lies from these white guys with these evil eyes towards our own kind, committing genocide. Sliding down the block, then a Glock pop, another brother gone. Tell me when it's gonna stop, cause it's so wrong. But Deuteronomy 28 and 54 will let you know it's all a curse. Plus, we've been systematically played against each other. Only way to conquer a nation is basic. Hope you realize the truth and face it. We're the children of Jacob, and his kingdom we taking. But this generation will never make it. We don't repent and turn back to the Most High as a nation. I know who I am today. And you can't lie to me no more. I'm a child of the Most High. And you the devil, the Bible speaks of. Set my people free. Yeah. Let them go. Let them go. Set my people free. Let them go. Let them go. Set my people free. All these other nations ever did was rape, rob, and murder us. Now generation after generation, we born into a sea of lies. With all praise to the Most High for opening up my eyes, and now I see the truth. Got me feeling magnificent. Yes, they hate us cause we're dripping sick, but tell you the truth, if it wasn't for us, y'all wouldn't have shit. We done seasoned it, boy. Yeah, the salt of the earth, and it's apparently clear through every verse. So it's Kwam Yashala till I'm dead in the dirt, or taken away up in the chariot. I'm trying to lead my people to freedom like Harriet, or better yet like Moses did. Bible in one hand, sword in the other, go to war like a Maccabee. Praying mercy on my people, vengeance on my enemies. And I don't fear no man, cause I know them angels surrounding me. So go and tell Pharaoh, let my people go. Let my people go. I know who I am today. And you can't lie to me no more. I'm a child of the Most High.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. Yehovah Shem Yahushua Barakatah. What's happening? All right, first and foremost, giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Hashem Mashiach Yahushua. Yahweh being the name of the Heavenly Father, Yahushua being the name of his only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Kom Yasha'Allah, rise Israel. All right, the Israelites are the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. So it's time to rise up, wake up, know thyself, move in the right direction. All right. We're living in the last days. So we are going to talk about it. We're going to tie biblical prophecy to the current events happening on a daily basis. You know what I'm saying? The things that are happening now, they are extremely biblical, and we're just going to break it down and talk about it. All right. Double honors to our elders, still waking up the lost sheep of the house of Israel in these last days. You know what I mean? Still hitting the highways and the hedges, you know what I mean? Building our people to the marriage. All right. Double honors to them. And we're going to start off with the Lord's Prayer. Okay. And this will be in Paleo Hebrew. This is the Lord's Prayer. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Haya, Shemka, Yahweh, Malachaka, Thaba'a, Ratazaka, Aya, Aisha, Barataza, Kawa, Aya, Bashemayim, Natananawa, Lacham, Kau, Yawam, Wasalaf Nawa, Kabawaf Nawa, Kasalaf Nawa, Kabawaf Nawa, Wala'a, Thabi Nawa, Banasai 1, Abo, Hawashai Nawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Wa'ala, Watapalaraf, Lawalamyam, Amen. All right. You know what I'm saying? After this manner, therefore pray ye. All right. So we're going to get started without further ado. This class is called Prepare Yourself. You know what I'm saying? You see what's going on. You watching what's happening. You must prepare yourself for the coming of Yahushua. And, you know, all these things that are hitting the earth, you got to be in preparation. Be ready. Okay. My name is Chassadyah, HOI Philly, and my swordsman today. Khan, might have a little trouble.
Khan's brother Yatsaf. HOI Philly.
Good. All praises. You know what I mean? Shalom, everyone that's tuning in. Be sure to put a like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff. Get this algorithm moving in the right direction. All right. We also have to say Fair Use Act, Fair Use Act. This video is protected by the Fair Use Act. All right. We'll be showing some news articles and so forth. This is a class, a lesson, so it's protected by the Fair Use Act. Let's begin without further ado. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 34 and verse 16. It is amazing to see the Most High work. Do you know what I'm saying? To put all the puzzle pieces in place that we can see anyway on the surface. It's a blessing to be able to see these things, to experience these things. You know, the apostles was like, yo, when are you gonna bring the kingdom back to Israel? You know, like they wanted it back then. You know, this has been something that has been talked about for centuries, and we're able to see the amazing things that the Most High is doing, and seemingly like Esau doesn't even pay attention or see what's going on. Whether he does it or not, who cares? You know what I'm saying? But the fact that we can is a blessing. All right. Go ahead, King, you can bring it out.
Khan, this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 34 and verse 16.
Khan.
Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. No one of these shall fail. None shall want her mate. For my mouth it hath commanded, and his spirit it hath gathered them.
So the things that we read, they're not going to fail. Like this prophecy, you know, if it's prophesied to happen, it's going to happen. And look at the past prophecy of us going into slavery and Deuteronomy 28 verse 68, and you know all the curses that you know come before that. You know, all the things that we our ancestors had to go through, that we're currently going through. You know what I mean? That he would loosen the yoke up off our neck. Like, you know, these things the Lord said that he's going to do, and he's doing it. So it's amazing to see these things. You know what I'm saying? Let's go to Habakkuk chapter 1 and verse 5. Because now he said he's going to do it. You know what I'm saying? Of course, we say, won't he do it? You know what I mean? But it's like mind-boggling to actually see it happen. You know what I'm saying? And for it to be right in your face, you know, now we got all types of social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, you know, 24-hour news. You can see things that are happening worldwide and apply them to the scriptures, you know. Floods happening in Turkey, all types of natural disasters. You know what I mean? Elder Macabre, you putting it up on Facebook, you get to see the, you know, the destruction of the heathens, you know what I mean? And it's in real time, and it's like fast forward too. Kind of, go ahead, can you bring it out? Oh, you on mute.
This is the book of Habakkuk,
Okay.
chapter 1 and verse 5. Behold ye among the heathen, and regard, and wonder marvelously. For I will work a work in your days, which ye will not believe, though it be told you.
Like you can read what's going to happen, and it doesn't hit until it's actually happening. You know what I'm saying? The most I can say, you know, he's gonna put the heathen in derision, and when you see it, it's like, damn, he wasn't joking. This is serious business. You know, look at the, you know, like Esau's kind of all over the place right now. You know, and if you are old enough, which I'm sure a lot of people are that are watching this, you know what I'm saying? You remember a time where Esau didn't catch no losses, man. He was batting 1,000, you know, other than, you know, Vietnam, but I'm not even old enough for that, you know what I'm saying? But for the most part, he did what he wanted, and nobody really would try to test him. You know what I mean? Iraq did, you know what I mean? And Saddam Hussein, but they had that planned already. It's like this is what they wanted to happen. You know what I'm saying? They wanted to go into and same thing with Vietnam, like they want to go into wars and keep it going. You know, what's the point going into war for 10 days if you know, if you're in like the military, you know, military industrial complex, you want that joint to be like 10 years because the government's going to keep on buying bombs and buying planes and buying all this stuff from you, and you just stay with a steady paycheck. You know what I mean? You buying more yachts and more mansions and Aston Martins and whatever, you know, Rolls Royces and all that. So like that's their plan. You know, Eisenhower talked about that. He said, beware of the military industrial complex, you know? So they made, you know, moves to get finances over decades, over generations for their family and, you know, their lineage, so forth and so on. So Esau hardly took losses. Now he's taking L after L, day after day, hour after hour. You know what I'm saying? It's you know, people are secondhand embarrassed at the way, you know, Esau's moving. People that really love America, you know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, you're embarrassing us, you know what I'm saying? But of course, the Israelites are like, yo, keep going. Look at the Most High keeping these dudes in derision. You know, the Trump might have what's it called, dementia? You know what I'm saying? Like he'd be forgetting where people at. He's looking, where's my wife? Wife be sitting right next to him. You know what I'm saying? His hands turn into the crypt keeper. Like, you know what I mean? He's in bad shape right now. And this is the Lord just like constantly working on his brain, like Nebuchadnezzar turned him loco in the cabeza. You know what I mean? But let's get 2nd Ezra chapter 9 and 13. You know, we talk about the judgment that takes place with Esau, with other nations. You know what I'm saying? With the hope of reviving your spirit. You know what I'm saying? Keep this in remembrance. Like, yo, he was doing this to the ancient Egyptians. Like, he did this to the Assyrians. You know, he did this to the Persian Medes and to the Babylonians. You know what I mean? Like, the it's repetitive that God is working for us. You know what I'm saying? So we like to bring that out when the judgments take place. But you know what I mean? For real, to hell with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, who are they?
Con,
I mean, is more about us and getting ourselves together. All right. Go ahead. Can you bring it out?
Con. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 9 and verse 13. And therefore, be thou not curious how the ungodly shall be punished, and when but inquire how the righteous shall be saved, whose the world is, and for whom the world is created.
Like, think about that. This place was created for you. You know what I'm saying? That's the Most High said, and with us in mind, boom. You know what I mean? I'm gonna make this place. You know, we messed up. You know, but now we know both sides. We know what it's like to not follow the Sabbath and somebody get stoned. You know what I'm saying? Picking up sticks. We get that. You know what I mean? We know that. You know how our ancestors stood tall, City Hall, when it came to eating the abominable things, pork and all that. You know what I'm saying? Brothers and sisters rather die than do that. You know, sisters rather die than not circumcise their child. You know what I mean? You know, so we get in both sides. And you know, it's not like something we read in the book. We seeing it. We read it in the book, of course, but we see, you know, the other side of not following the laws of God. You know, so it's more important than ever to see what's in that food. What we eating? You know what I mean? What diabolical food Esau got us trying to eat? You know what I'm saying? And bringing it back to the essence, to the natural state. You know, we see, you know, that rest and how it propels you for the rest of the week. You know what I'm saying? If you just going, and you know what I mean, you get into heart attack status. You never rest. You always trying to fulfill this, you know, bill. You know what I mean? This goal. You know what I mean? I could work overtime if I do this, then I get extra couple $100, and then I could pay this off, and then I could pay this off. You running yourself ragged. You know what I'm saying? Until you fall out. You know, so we know how important it is to honor the Sabbath. We know how important it is to follow the new moons and the feast days and the blessings that come with that. You know, if you've been in this truth long enough, you realize that if you miss a feast day, you miss a new moon, you know, your month, your week, whatever, it don't go too well. You know what I'm saying? But when you do, it's like, man, like the Most High blessing me. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, let's think about how you know, we to hell with Esau, you know what I mean? But how's the righteous gonna be saved, you know? And it's like a catch-22, because as they fall, as we talk about their, you know, destruction, how the Most High is destroying them, you know, we look at, you know, that is building us up. You know what I'm saying? The Most High, at the same time, they going down, we going up. And you know, they're trying to figure out about the so-called UFOs now. You know, that's a big topic. We're going to release these files, and this is just they kept saying this the low-hanging fruit. This is the low-hanging fruit. Every time they kept saying that, I'm thinking the strange fruit. Like, we was the low-hanging fruit when y'all was lynching. You know what I'm saying? So y'all keep repeating that same thing. You know what I mean? And it gets me motivated that, all right, yeah, keep bringing it out. So when people start asking questions, it's going to come out that it's all throughout the Bible. So when that happens, boom, you know, our salvation definitely is drawn nigh, because the stuff that we know for sure, other people are going to know. All right. And that's meaning like Esau and the other nations. So then that fear is going to kick in. So like, damn, we treated them horribly. You know, hey, can I come with you? I heard God is with you. That's the time we knocking on that door. All right. Shalom, everybody on the lesson. Okay. Let's get Exodus chapter 14 and verse number 13. You know, the Lord is making moves on this planet, and we gotta prepare ourselves for this because it's coming quick. It's coming quick. I remember the first video they dropped that's like mainstream. I think the New York Times put it out, right? It was called I forget what it's called. It was a gimbal. It was when the chariot was churning as it was going, as it was flying, and he's like, "Look at that thing, dude! It's rotating."
Yeah.
He says 150 knots to the west, you know. And I look to the side. You read the, you know, because this is official United States. You know, whereas I don't know if it's a Predator drone. It was like a fighter jet, you know, being recording this thing, and it says "slave" written down the side of it. And I always thought that was weird. You know what I'm saying? like okay, that's how y'all talk. I mean, it might mean something like this is the southwestern latitude, altitude. You know what I mean? Whatever the acronym is, but it says "slave" right down the side. If you ever watched that video, and whether Esau did on purpose, I don't know, but I know the Most High probably did. You know what I'm saying? Just keep in mind, like, I got y'all. You know what I'm saying? This information is going to come out, and they are going to be shaking in their boots when they realize what's going on. All right, go ahead, King. You bring it out.
Con, this is the book of Exodus, chapter 14 and verse 13.
Con.
And Moses said unto the people, "Fear ye not, stand still, and see the salvation of the Lord, which he will show to you today. For the Egyptians whom ye have seen today, ye shall see them again no more forever."
Con. So he's like, yo, relax. You know what I'm saying? Fear not, stand still. Okay. You know what I mean? It's the things that at this point in the ancient Egypt, our ancestors were crying out to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. He heard them, sent Moses, and along with a bunch of plagues, right? So we're on like a cloud nine because we understand that the Most High was fighting for us, but then we got a little shaky, like, yo, why you come bring us out here? You bring us out here for us to die and everything like that. So, yo, relax. You see these dudes? Look at them right now. You see them? You ain't gonna see them no more. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to body these niggas. You know what I'm saying? It's about to be a wrap. You know what I mean? The Lord knows what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? You see the depravity of the United States right now. The Department, what they call it, the Department of War now. You know what I'm saying? It's the Department of Defense.
Yeah.
Department of War, Pete Hegseth, like the dudes alky, man. You know what I'm saying? These dudes are, talk about low hanging fruit. Dudes that are like you pick up off the ground, you know what I'm saying, for you know, with Cain and Abel, you know what I mean? Here's the sacrifice. These dudes is trash, man. You know what I'm saying? Because at one point in time, you had to be on point to be the head of the Department of Defense. You know, you have you know, your finger on the pulse, on the button. You know, you can put 100,000 troops to war over here and 10,000 troops over the war in there. Man, the bull, like, you see him on the Hill when they interview him, he's just battling like a 4-year-old. At one point in time, he's back all, you know, straight and yes, Madam Secretary, yes, yeah, Congressman, you know, what we did is we sent 17 to the quadrant. We had this, you know, because we needed to have a force amongst over there. He's like, what? It looks like he's drunk. Like, bro, you just woke up, started drinking. You remind me of was it Denzel Washington in Flight, man? He's like, I'm drunk now. So I said, what? So I'm drunk now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He sounds like. And this is America. This is what is projected to America. He brought Donald Trump went to China and he bought all these CEOs, one of them being Elon Musk. Elon Musk is a junkie, man. You know what I'm saying? He stayed tweeting stuff that he has to erase. He wakes up like, damn, I said that. Man, what a crazy night. He's over there as a delegation with the United States. You know what I'm saying? They had to pat him down and find his stash because he ain't go over there to sober up. This is what's happening in the United States. Kash Patel, the director of the FBI, he's making his own booze now. Do you know what I'm saying? He walks to people. He's like, "Hey, I got a bottle of whiskey for you." They're like, "It's 9 a.m." He's like, "It's 5 o'clock somewhere." This is what's happening to the United States, and I just want to say that I am very much enjoying this downfall. Okay, can you read verse 14?
Verse 14. The Lord shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace.
So the Most High is fighting for us. Okay. Now, what we gotta do, we gotta prepare ourselves. You know, we gotta make sure that we on point.
Right.
Okay. Let's not aim to be like Kash Patel. You know what I'm saying? Drinking at 9 a.m. Let's not aim to be, shooting up like Elon Musk. You know what I mean? It's time to put that stuff on the back burner and to come back to these law, statute, commandments, reading this Bible, leaning on Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Let's lean on God. We all got problems, but let's lean on the Most High. He will help us. With them, he's destroying them. Okay. Can you read verse 15?
Verse 15. And the Lord said unto Moses, wherefore criest thou unto me? Speak unto the children of Israel, that they go forward.
Yeah, Most High, like, yo, don't look. I got this. I'm taking care of this. I will fight for you. Don't. You stay coming to me. Look, talk to the people. Tell them to go forward, man. And that's what we're talking about. It's like, yo, prepare yourself. You see what's happening. It's already in motion. It's in motion. The motion is so smooth. It's so amazing to see. The way the Most High is setting this up. Russia, we're gonna talk about that. Russia, they just tested their Satan 2. It's just for America. That bomb called Satan 2 is strictly for America. They don't have to worry about nothing else. This is the bomb, the United States of America. They tested it and they said, we're happy with this. We're good. So how much more information? We're going to talk about it because there's a lot of stuff going on still. But how much more information do you need? You know what I mean? That this is it. We'll see. Let's go to Isaiah 62, verse 7. All right. Isaiah 62, verse 7, because the Lord's like, yo, cry out to me. You know what I mean? You watchmen, but keep in mind, look, you gotta keep moving forward. Don't backtrack. Don't say, hey, let me go back to Babylon. I had a good job in the United States, man. I was doing good. I had air conditioner. I used to go to Applebee's once a week. You know what I mean? I actually like this place. He said, don't backtrack. Don't turn around like Lot's wife, man. Keep moving forward. What do you think the kingdom's going to look like? If you happy about Applebee's, you know what I'm saying? You like Uber Eats. Man, I had Uber Eats 2 times a week in Babylon. What is the kingdom going to look like? So let's just keep moving forward, man. Go ahead, King. Bring it out.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 62 and verse 7. And give him no rest till he is established, until he make Jerusalem a praise in the earth.
Give him no rest. You know what I mean? To establish, till Jerusalem is established. You know what I mean? So that's when our prayers come in. Lord, get us out of here. Most High, lift us up. Send your son back, Baba Kashar. You know what I'm saying? It's a constant prayer to get the hell out of this place. You know what I'm saying? And he's saying it. This is the word of God. This is God saying, yo, you can make sure you give me an earful until I my covenant is complete, until I do what I said I was going to do. That's pretty much what he's saying. It's the word of God. All right. So let's get into what's happening. We're going to talk about the first video. They're preparing. That's the thing. Esau's prepared. Esau knows, look, this is it. You know what I'm saying? We got our bunkers ready. We got this, then the third. We ain't got no bunkers. I know I ain't got no bunker. You know what I mean? So
me neither. Me neither.
I'll run to my basement, and what's that gonna do? You know what I mean? This we ain't got that. We either we do what God says, or we ain't gonna make it. Okay. And not to say Esau's gonna make it. We all know he's gonna be dragged out of those bunkers. But what I'm saying is he's preparing. We gotta prepare. All right. So let's see what they're doing. Because we're not ignorant of his devices. And they're preparing for a mass slaughter. So let's prepare to make it to the kingdom of heaven and take this place. All right. Let's go.
People are like, wow, this is a bit scary. It's completely new territory.
I mean, will we still need humans?
Not for most things. We'll decide.
Yeah. Overall, I think there's quite a bit of abdication of responsibility around like, what are we going to do as people's jobs start being taken fairly aggressively? Luckily, there's a massive population drop coming, so maybe everything is just fate and it's going to work out okay. But I feel like we might get like very, very, very good AI across every pillar of art before there aren't any more people to make art.
So you wrote, we appreciate power.
Torture this atomic analogy. You got the sense that people like Oppenheimer or Einstein were aware of the gravity of what was happening, and through the crucible of war, maybe made some decisions they might not have made otherwise. In this environment, I don't think Altman, Karp, Thiel was asked, should the human race, flourish and continue to exist? And he took like a 5-second pause, like, yeah, let me think about that for a second.
That's a tough one there, yeah.
You've heard about it in countless movies and shows.
I'm not going to the bunker. Sorry. Not going to the bunker.
A top secret bunker outfitted to protect the president from major security threats. Now in real life. As the controversy continues around President Trump's demolition of the East Wing of the White House to make way for a new grand ballroom, there's fresh talk about what's happening underground. That bunker was bulldozed along with the rest of the East Wing. NBC News can report that it will be rebuilt and upgraded, according to one former White House official and 2 sources familiar with the East Wing renovations. A White House spokesman declined to comment in response to questions about a new presidential bunker.
But as declassified documents reveal more about these underground facilities, they raise as many questions as they answer. How many exist? What's their true purpose? And are there connections between them that we're not being told about? So let's dig into the evidence. Let's start with what we know for certain. America has several massive underground facilities that have been acknowledged by the government. Perhaps the most famous is the North American Aerospace Defense Command, or NORAD, which is buried inside Cheyenne Mountain in Colorado. Constructed in the 1960s, this underground complex was designed to withstand a direct nuclear strike, and it's built in the middle of the country on purpose. The facility consists of 15 3-story buildings mounted on springs that would absorb the shock of a nuclear blast. These buildings sit inside a massive cavern carved from solid granite. During the height of the Cold War, over 1,800 personnel worked inside the mountain on a daily basis. Can you imagine? Inside of a mountain, 1,800 people? Monitoring for potential Soviet attacks. That's what they did all day long. While NORAD's operations have partially relocated to Peterson Air Force Base, the Cheyenne Mountain Complex remains operational as an alternative command center, ready to activate in moments of crisis. Less than 30 miles from Washington, D.C. sits another underground marvel, the Raven Rock Mountain Complex, sometimes called Site R, or the Underground Pentagon. Built inside a mountain near the Pennsylvania-Maryland border. This 650,000 square foot facility serves as an emergency operations center for the Department of Defense. Now, construction began in earnest back in 1951, and like the NORAD complex, it was designed to withstand a nuclear apocalypse. So only the elites would survive. You and I would be vaporized. Now, inside Raven Rock are all the necessities for running military operations: communication centers, conference rooms, and a self-contained power system. The facility can support about 1,400 people for an extended period of time, allowing military leadership to maintain command and control, even if Washington, D.C. is totally destroyed. Though many details remain classified, we know that Raven Rock continues to be maintained and upgraded as part of America's continuity of government plans. In the case that the President of the United States and the entire cabinet is wiped away, who would run things? It would be the military. Perhaps even more critical to government survival is Mount Weather Emergency Operations Center in Virginia. This underground complex would serve as the evacuation site for the highest level of civilian and military officials in case of a national disaster. It would house the president, house the Supreme Court, and other key leadership. Mount Weather is operated by FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, and features underground offices, has full dormitories, a full hospital. And above ground, the 434-acre facility includes training areas, a fire station, and even an entire police force. What's particularly interesting about Mount Weather is how it's designed to function as a genuine underground city. It has reservoirs for fresh water, power plant with multiple backup generators, advanced air filtration systems. There are even dormitories that could house hundreds of officials. And during the 9/11 attacks, guess what? Many congressional leaders were evacuated to Mount Weather, demonstrating its continued importance in emergency planning. One lesser-known facility is the Greenbrier Bunker in West Virginia, a place that I know well. I spent a lot of time in West Virginia as a young reporter in Bluefield, West Virginia. For decades, this massive bunker lay hidden beneath the luxurious Greenbrier Resort, unknown to the public, until it was exposed by the Washington Post in 1992. It was built during the Eisenhower administration, and its 112,000 square foot facility was intended to house all 535 members of Congress in the event of a nuclear war. Perhaps most fascinating was its cover. The facility was hidden right in plain sight, and that's my point. How many of these exist that are sitting in plain sight? It was designed and disguised as an exhibition hall and maintenance area for the resort. Government staff posed as TV repairmen, regularly maintaining the bunker's equipment while pretending to be servicing the hotel's televisions. After its exposure, the bunker was decommissioned and is now open for tours, one of the few such facilities accessible to the public. These known facilities represent just the tip of the iceberg. We all know about these. Declassified documents suggest dozens of similar installations were constructed across the United States, many of which remain operational and classified. What's particularly noteworthy is how these aren't merely bunkers. They're fully functioning underground cities designed for long-term occupation and governance. The question is, how many more exist that we have no idea about? If underground cities exist, then logically, there must be ways to reach them quickly, especially in emergencies. This brings us to one of the most persistent claims about America's underground infrastructure, the secret subway systems that are connecting important government facilities all across the United States, never having to jump on the interstate highway system and sit in traffic. We know for certain that Washington, D.C. has an official underground transportation system that's used by government officials.
Regarding this project that are frankly of top secret nature.
Adding, we're making necessary security enhancements as part of the construction. The space was called the Presidential Emergency Operations Center, or PEOC.
And where's the PEOC?
For your information, miss, it's the one room in the house that no one knows the location of.
WikiLeaks says it's under the East Wing.
And though it's a constant presence in pop culture, it's not really talked about publicly. Its mere existence seldom confirmed by officials and seen rarely in White House photos. Captured every once in a while, though. You can see former Vice President Dick Cheney and Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice in the bunker on 9/11, along with other top White House officials. President George W. Bush was there later, according to photos from the National Archives, before his address to the nation. We're not talking about the Situation Room, which is available 24/7 and used regularly for secure meetings. According to the White House Historical Association, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt ordered the construction of the secret underground bunker in 1941 in case of emergency after the attack on Pearl Harbor. The East Wing was expanded on top. Fast forward 80 years, President Trump went down there during his first term in June of 2020 as protests erupted near the White House in response to the killing of George Floyd. The president confirming he went, but disputed, reporting it was due to the protests.
And I went down during the day, and I was there for a tiny, little short period of time, and it was much more for an inspection.
You might remember this moment in the aftermath. Now virtually no details are known about the plans for this new and improved bunker and what it will look like in the end. For now, the president has taken quite an interest in the project, and the administration says it hopes it will be completed by the time his term ends in 2029.
All right, let's get Second Ezra chapter 15. We're going to start at verse 1. So Esau's preparing. You see it. All them bunkers. You know, he keeps talking about that bunker in the White House in the East Wing. Yeah, Esau's getting ready, man. You know, but of course, we have to prepare ourselves, get our body right, get our mind right, get our emotions under wraps, intact, keep them together. You know what I mean? So, you know, looking at how Esau's moving right now, Trump went to China to talk to Xi Jinping. You know what I mean? You know, by the time he got off the plane, they had a couple kids waving Chinese flags in his face. They don't even respect him. Xi Jinping wasn't at the airport. It wasn't in, you know, the top story over there in China. Oh, the president of the United States is coming. That wasn't nothing like that. It was more like, you know, the president of China was meeting with somebody from one of them, I don't know, Kakistan countries, whatever. That's top story. And then a little on the side, it's like, oh yeah, by the way, Trump's coming to China. Like, it's not even a big deal, you know, because they see that this is a declining empire. You know, somebody who was tough back in the day, you know what I mean? But now, you know, he's washed up, man. Esau's a dinosaur. He's old news. You know, he still thinks he got it. You know what I mean? Watching too many Rocky movies. You know what I mean? I can do it, Rock. You know what I mean? Nah, it's over with. Okay, so seeing that and seeing how they moving because they have nuclear weapons. This is end time prophecy. All right, I'm gonna bring that out. Con, you bring that out. Second Ezra chapter 15 verse 1.
Con, this is the book of Second Ezra, chapter 15 and verse 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord.
Con.
And
All
cause
right. Con, Slacky. So this is, you know, it's prophecy that we're talking about. Go ahead.
And cause them to be written in the paper, for they are faithful and true.
Faithful and true. Read on.
Fear not the emanations.
Imagination, Slakia. Yeah.
Shalakia. Fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee.
Con, and that incredulity is speak of unwillingness to believe. You know what I'm saying? Can't believe, unwilling to believe. Don't let that trouble you. You know what I mean? Like, you say, hey man, look, the Lord's coming back, you know, you better get it together. Like, oh, you believe in God. I'm sure you believe in a fairy, you know, what do you call it? This tooth fairy and all this, you know what I mean? They got a lot of jokes, even, you know, our own people. And, you know, Esau don't believe in nothing, you know what I mean? He gets it, but he knows that, you know, when he, you know, when he actually does any research on it, he knows he's done. He knows he's cooked. But our people are the, smart Alex. A white man wrote that book. If they don't believe it, man, look, don't let that trouble you. All right, go ahead.
But all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness.
Yeah, so we talking about preparing, you know what I mean? Because that's serious. It says all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. That's a lot of death, man. Just like people we see at camp, you know what I mean? What you see on the television screen, what you see on podcasts, with the music that's put out there, all the unfaithful are going to die in their unfaithfulness. Okay, and it's talk about none of these prophecies are going to fail. So it's something to prepare for. It's a lot of death. You know what I mean? Don't let that knock you off your square. All right, because this is prophesied to happen. Read on.
Verse 5. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction.
You can see how famine can occur. At one point in time, we didn't have access to the tools we have. Not saying the tools we had before wasn't good, but you can see what's happening across the world. You know what I mean? You can see that if this land mass didn't have a lot of snow during the winter, then it's not gonna melt in the spring and cause the rivers to rise, and be able to overflood his banks, like the Euphrates overflood his banks, and it gives water to all the surrounding areas and so forth, so on. If stuff like that doesn't happen, then you're gonna get famine. And if it doesn't happen for years, the weather modification tools the United States dishes out to other countries gets blown up, like it said in Iran. It got blown up, and all of a sudden there's just gushes of rainfall happening in Iran now, and snow and this, that, and the third. If these things happen over a long period of time, you get famine. And even with the Iranian war, if they destroy this desalination plants over there in the Middle East, where they get all their water from, Dubai and all these other places, if Iran destroys them, then that place is a ghost town. You ain't got no water, you ain't got no life. It's time to go. So you can see it playing out from the plagues that the Most High is distributing over the world. The sword. Iran has so many crazy missiles that they invented because they couldn't get it from the United States. Everybody else just buys it from the United States. Iran got sanctioned a long time ago. They're like, man, we got to do it ourselves. So what the Persians do? They did it themselves. And, it bypasses a lot of missile defense systems over there in the United States. So that sword is flying. You know what I mean? Death and destruction is here. Can you read verse 6?
Verse 6. For the wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled.
It's just terrible out here, man. Like, you can see it, so a lot of Israelites got that other sense, you know what I mean? Some people call it sixth sense, and third eye, and can see things that other people can't see. You experience things differently that other people don't experience. You know what I mean? You've been woken up, so to speak. Spirit is revived in you. You're not the valley of the dry bones anymore. So you can see how polluted this place is, man. You know what I mean? Like, the music is terrible. Like, it's almost like it's a race to the bottom. How much derogatory, disgusting, you know what I'm saying? Like, how much can I put out there in 5 minutes of music. You know what I'm saying? What's the worst thing I could say? You know, whether it be the female rappers or the brothers, you know, it's a race to the bottom. So as far as music concerned, the stuff that's on TV, you know, you be watching a series and you be like, man, it's pretty good, man. I haven't seen something like this in a while, Netflix, whatever like that. And then all of a sudden, two men just start kissing. You be like, what does that even have to do with the plot? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's nothing. You know, there's plenty of things that I just had to turn off. Like, I'm not even watching this show no more because it's just, you see the agenda, you know? Just stick to the Matlock, you know. Oh, hold on, wait there 1 minute. You know, let's revisit what you just said. You know, like the plot twist. Can't even watch stuff like that no more. And you know, as far as what you see online, people getting killed for, like, you know, just the minimalist things. You know, people you know, a look. You know what I'm saying? A traffic dispute. People are willing to throw away their entire life off of that. Like, never seeing the light of day. You know what I mean? Going into a dirty, disgusting, sweaty, cold prison for the rest of their life because somebody cut you off in traffic. So it's just getting bad. You know what I mean? I mean, it's not getting bad. It's getting worse. It's already bad. You know what I mean? So we see that, and you know, we just definitely got to prepare ourselves even more, seeing that this place, it can't last like this. Everybody's gonna be dead, you know. So let's see what's happening in Russia. Let's take it to the international stage. All right. Like I talked about earlier with the Satan 2. It's here, you know. Play with them if you want.
They would
slack you.
This is your World War III update. Vladimir Putin today announced the successful test launch of the RS-28 nuclear intercontinental ballistic missile, also known as the Satan II. Finally, they were able to achieve a successful test launch of this weapon, which is solely made for the purpose of attacking Washington. That's what people need to understand here. This is not going to be used in some futuristic war with the Russians and the Chinese. This is not going to be used in Europe. That's what Rezhnik is for. This is for the United States of America. This thing has a 4 megaton capable warhead, which means that you're going to have potentially the amount of fissile material, probably 250 to 300 times as much as what you've seen in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Okay. Now that's going to be dispersed across multiple independent reentry vehicles, probably 10 to 20, and they're going to be interspersed with a bunch of decoys just in case the United States decides to try to shoot them down. Of course, that's going to be difficult because it also has a 35,000 kilometer range, meaning that it can circumnavigate the planet once and still have fuel left to spare. And what this means is that the conventional trajectory of coming over the North Pole, remember in the Cold War era, this is still how the nukes are going to fly. They're going to fly over the North Pole and come over Greenland and Canada, and they're going to fall on the East Coast and on the Minuteman missile silos, on the air bases and things of that nature. Well, now you can go through the South Pole, and because most of the radars and the air defense systems are calibrated for the North, obviously that's going to change now, or it's going to have to anyways. This is partly why they're going to spend trillions of dollars on the Golden Dome in an attempt to counteract this. So this creates a pretty significant vulnerability. Now, the question is, why is Vladimir Putin announcing this now? Well, because the war with Russia and Ukraine is not going so well. Today, Donald Trump was asked by reporters, would he be willing to relinquish control of the Donbass to the Russians? And he categorically said no. Okay, so this, of course, is a precondition for the Russians to have the Donbass in its completion under their control. Interestingly, we also had another bad omen for the Russians. This is it's kind of like a tourist attraction, like a Potemkin Kremlin, if you will. It's a Kremlin. I guess the word Kremlin is like a fortress, a castle, like a Russian castle, so to speak. And the Kremlin that most people think of when they hear the word is in Moscow. This is a tourist attraction, Kremlin, which is made out of wood, and apparently it's burning down. So who knows who did that, but it seems like very symbolic, if you ask me. Okay, so the Russians are getting ready to do a major attack on Ukraine. As I indicated yesterday, the ceasefire has more than ended. In fact, the Russians are getting shellacked once again by Ukrainian drones. Apparently, they're getting ready to do some big offensive in Zaporozhye or Kherson, plus a major air offensive that's going to be taking place tomorrow night using a combination of drones and cruise missiles and ballistic missiles and all the usual stuff. No nukes yet, so there's still time to prepare. But Donald Trump wants you. This is a post from True Social. I want you, of course, summoning the propaganda of Uncle Sam. He wants you to probably join the military, okay? And as I've predicted, I was the first to predict this many months ago, that indeed the entire purpose of what we're seeing right now in terms of the mobilization, the militarization of the police forces, and the streamlining of the selective service, and all the measures that they're surreptitiously putting into place to make the military draft easier when it finally does happen to partake in the forever war that will be likely starting in Iran after Xi Jinping's visit. Well, they're going to need conscripts for that. And so that's why he wants you. Now, irrespective of the immiserating circumstances that most Americans find themselves in, Trump was asked today whether or not he sympathized with the financial grievances of Americans who, of course, are incurring the consequences of this conflict in Iran. And here's what he had to say to that reporter, even to my surprise. Okay, this is one of those, you remember when Anthony Blinken was listening to Joe Biden talk and Joe Biden accidentally called Xi Jinping a dictator and Blinken cringed and it turned into a meme? That's exactly what I thought of, because I'm sure Rubio or somebody was thinking, you probably shouldn't have said that, but let's hear what he has to say.
With Iran, Mr. President, to what extent are Americans' financial situations motivating you to make a deal?
To what extent are Americans' financial situations motivating you to make a deal? And here's his response.
Not even a little bit. The only thing that matters when I'm talking about Iran, they can't have a nuclear weapon. I don't think about Americans' financial situation. I don't think about anybody. I think about one thing. We cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon.
Okay, this would be fine if this was an existential crisis and this required emergency powers to put the greater good against the interests of the average American citizen who is struggling. Okay, there's a time for war mobilization when the enemy is at the gates. Not only is this not a credible threat, it's not a tangible, it's not even an intangible threat. This threat just doesn't exist at all. Not only has Iran claimed that they don't want to have nuclear weapons, and I know the fatwa is mostly a symbolic gesture. It could just be a smokescreen and they might be pursuing nuclear weapons. In fact, if they're smart, they probably are. But even if they had a nuclear weapon, the notion that they're going to put it on an ICBM, assuming they even have that technology at all, send it over to the United States when Iran has never once attacked the continental United States for a terrorist attack ever. Okay, the fact that the idea that they would break that and use a nuclear weapon on the United States and that this poses an existential risk to us here in North America is one of the most asinine suggestions. And because he repeats it over and over again, what is that saying? You know, you got to repeat the lie over and over again. That was like a Goebbels propaganda technique, is that you want to just keep repeating the lie, no matter how absurd, just keep repeating it over and over and over again. And eventually, even the people with an average IQ might start to parrot your concerns.
All right. So, you know, you see Donald J. Trump, you know, El Presidente of Babylon, saying, I don't care about none of y'all financial. Like he lies so much, he could have just threw out another lie. I don't think that's going to put him over the top when it comes to getting, is he getting into heaven? You know what I'm saying? Is Esau going to make it? Is there salvation for the Gentiles? I don't think that one lie will get him over the top, you know what I mean, as being a diabolical person. He is. It's naturally, it's how he is. But he can't even lie. Like he's like, why even lie to you? I don't care about your finances. And he said it a few times about gas prices like that. That's not keeping me up at night, you know? Yeah, I'm from Manhattan, man. You know what I'm saying? You see these buildings that I own. My dad gave me a small loan of $1 million. You know, he died. It was like $500 million. He's not worried about us. You know what I'm saying? Or the average Joe, so to speak. You know, that's just the way he is. You know, Esau, like, yeah, man, let him eat cake, man. You know, and that's a famous last words, because the people, will galvanize and say, look, get together and we'll get you out of that joint. You know what I'm saying? Like, people just drag you out, just like they went into the Capitol. Or during the George Floyd protests, and he ran into the bunker. You know what I'm saying? He's like, oh, I wasn't there for that. I was just testing it. I was just looking at it. No big deal. But yeah.
Trump is something, man.
Yeah.
Something, man.
Con.
Yeah.
So all praises, you can see the downfall of a society when, the president's never really cared about the people, but when they actually come out and tell you, like, yo, I don't care about you, people like, well, why'd I stand in line and vote for you then? Woken up,
Salakia.
Con,
I'm just gonna go into that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you flat out said you don't care nothing about what people were going through, the American people going through. And then you just flat out just say, you know what I'm saying? Like, now I'm in here, you know what I'm saying? I'm in here now. Now I can say what I want to say. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Make America great again. And how great are you? What are you doing?
Right. Make his
can't trust
friends. Con. Yeah, and somebody said this. He was like, look, it doesn't matter. People will have $8 gas as long as it means black people can't vote. Or like, you know what I'm saying? If we can balance it out of, I am so broke right now, my mortgage is due, bills is due, but them niggas right now are, you know what I mean? We got our foot on their neck. I'm all for it. If I can walk around like Chud and call people niggas, then I can live with myself now. You know what I'm saying? I gotta make mud pies, but as long as they ain't doing good, that's a deep hatred, man. These people got a deep hatred of us, and it's all good because that hatred, like I think it was Ezekiel 35, I think. I'm not sure, or Isaiah, talking about their hatred towards us is going to be Most High is going to use that against them. You know what I mean? Let me see. I think it might be in Ezekiel 35. Yeah. Ezekiel 35 and 11. All that hatred is going to be, that they give to us. Most High going to use it against them and destroy them.
And I got Salakia too. I got a short story too. I just found out like yesterday.
Con.
Wickedness, man.
Up, base men,
man. Con, this is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 35 and verse 11. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord God, I will even do according to thy anger and according to thy envy, which thou hast used out of thy hatred against them. And I will make myself known among them when I have judged thee.
So yeah, all praise to Yahweh Shemel Shai. Keep up that. I like that hatred and energy that they give off, because it keeps Jake on their toes. You know what I'm saying? A gift destroys the heart. They give us reparations. They be like, oh, you call me nigga, you can do whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? I'm balling right now. You know what I mean? I'm nigga rich. You know, but them keeping that foot on our neck is like, all right, I'm gonna lean on you. How about Shemel Shai? I don't care about their money. I don't care about their possessions, their gold, or nothing like that. You know. Let's get them out of here. So that we move in the right direction, you know. Khan, can you want to bring out Zora?
Yeah, Khan, I was gonna bring out this. It was an older Jake that I ran into yesterday, and he was saying that he has an older mother that lives in like a real white town that's in Atlanta, Georgia, and it's around voting time, I guess, for councilmen or mayors or whatever, the local voting. And he said that his mother is about 90 years old and she lives by herself. So, you know, they old school. So when they go to vote, you know, they go downtown and drop the ballot off. He said his mother got down there, went to go drop the ballot off. And when she handed the ballot in drop it in the box, you know, the infamous, you know, got pictures with Martin Luther King, everybody, but that's what she thinks she's about to go through. And the brother said that they took the ballot from his mother, opened it up and said, hey, thank you for voting, and gave her one of those one of them stickers that you say that I voted.
Really?
Yeah.
Did they put it in the box or anything? They put it in the trash?
No, because you know, at that point that is invalid, because it's supposed to be, you know, sealed up, dropped in the box, and then you go through it and you open it up. Okay, this one's for this is for that, this one's for this person. But yeah, it's this grimy, man. Esau's the devil, man.
Con.
90 years old, man. Took advantage of the old lady. You know what I mean? So
that's wild. And that's the plan, right? So this is with the voting, gerrymandering different districts and everything like that. It's just like our vote don't matter no more. Like the way they cutting it up, they're like, yeah, y'all can vote for all the Democrats you want. It's not gonna push the envelope one way or another. You know what I'm saying? And probably people have to go, they might make it difficult to vote. So this is when people say racism doesn't exist. This is like, it's institutionalized. This is in the fabric of society. Like however you look at it, and the education, the job market, the policing, however you look and you move in America, race matters, and they make sure that they make laws to disenfranchise us while propping them up. If they were so great, then they wouldn't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? We'll definitely shine because we Esau. Our Yamin don't stink, so we're good. But they have to prop themselves up. Lord forbid, you know what I'm saying? God forbid, what's it called? The critical race theory, that they children learn what their ancestors did, or continue to do. They're like, oh, we can't have that. But our children had to go through it. Like this is, they have no choice but to get critical race theory on the go, So yeah, they got a lot to pay for, man. They got a lot to pay for, and we gotta prepare ourselves. All right, let's get Shalom everybody on the stream. Shalom, everybody. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Bubba Kashar. Let's get 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 9, because as you can see, they had Shalom. As you can see, they had tested the Satan too. and it's good. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a concept. They had it, but like the hypersonic missiles, it wasn't in the arsenal, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we got it, but we can't just put it out on the ship and use it because it has to be tested more, this, that, and the third. So now the Satan 2 is tested, man. That joint just breaks up into a whole bunch of little nuclear missiles. The defense system, the entry is unstoppable. The missile defense systems can't touch it, and it's just going to nuke damn near the United States. And that's just one. How many do you think they have? You know what I'm saying? If they got 10 of them, it just lets you know.
Yeah.
This is when it talks about a lake of fire. You know, one to California, one to Washington, D.C., put one in the middle. This place is going to be done, man. And then that's just one country. Don't forget about China, North Korea, Iran. Iran they're like, we don't even need nukes. You see my big homie got the nukes. We got the missiles that destroy your military base. Yeah, it's collapsing, man. Khan, you bring it out, King.
Khan, this is the book of 2 Peter, chapter 3 and verse 9.
Khan.
The Lord is not slack concerning his promise, as some men count slackness, but is long suffering to usward, not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance.
So that idea, like, oh, what's going on with your God? How come he ain't cracked the sky? Just, scoffers and stuff like that. He's clear. He's letting you know, man, listen, I don't want to kill you. I want you to repent. I want you to come back. I want to, Yahweh Shai sitting there and sip wine with you. Like, that's what I want. I don't want to destroy you. What? I don't get no joy all destroying my own people. You know what I'm saying? But y'all gotta get it together. You know what I'm saying? Get it together.
Well, the anger, calm.
Yeah. Don't think that you can just play me. I did all this. I knock all this over, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't play with me, So so let's tighten up. All right. Go ahead, read verse 10.
Verse 10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up.
Kind of like he's going to destroy this place. You know what I'm saying? Like the elements are going to melt. What does that look like? What does that feel like? It feels like, I would assume, what's her name? On Terminator 2.
Oh, Khan.
What's her name? O'Connor.
O'Connor, yeah.
O'Connor, you know what I mean?
Sarah O'Connor.
Yeah, sitting on a gate and just turning into dust. It didn't look like a good time. Didn't look like it was fun. Didn't look like it felt good. So hey man, let's tighten up. Honor the Sabbath and follow these law, statutes, commandments. Prepare for that time to happen, and there's no going back after that. They say you can't put the bullet in a gun. They're not these missiles, these arrows that be shot over here into America. There's nobody that can stop that. You know what I'm saying? Once those plagues are unleashed on the earth, once those arrows are in the air, they're not returning back to the shooter. So there's no sorry after that. It's you're done. You know what I mean? So let's prepare for that day. All right. And let's get international. Let's go into the universe. All right. Let's take a trip to the solar system and what's going on in the sky. All right. Matter of fact, you get Isaiah chapter 30 and verse 26. All right. Let's get that, and then we're gonna look at the video regarding what's happening with the sun. The sun's exploding again. You know, all this radiation's flooding the airwaves coming onto the earth. Esau's getting cooked from the inside out. You know, it seems like it's changing people's you know, their spirit, disposition, whatever you want to call it. When these things happen, you know, full moons, people act out. You know, when things happen in the sun, it causes earthquakes on the horizon, you know, and people change in their what's the word? Their character, you know. So sometimes you get really tired, sometimes you got a whole bunch of energy and you just don't know why. You know, the things that are happening in the sky can affect our bodies. Okay. Go ahead, Ken, you can bring it out.
Tom, this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 30 and verse 26. Moreover, the light of the moon shall be as the light of the sun, and the light of the sun shall be sevenfold. As the light of 7 days, in the day that the Lord bindeth up the breach of his people, and healeth the stroke of their wound.
Okay, so let's get the actual sun. You know what I mean? You know, and the scriptures can be twofold as far as knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Let's see what's happening with the sun. It's literally exploding.
You had, or I think it was 6.7. Hello and welcome, everyone. I'm your host, Stefan Burns, geologist, geophysicist, space weather guy. We have a lot to cover today because we have a big earthquake swarm right now hitting the San Andreas Fault in California, right near the border of Mexico. This is Brawley, California. This is in the Mexicali Valley, just south of the Salton Sea. You don't see this every day. It's not completely, we've never seen it before, 100% anomalous, but you don't see this every day. And this is following up after some pretty significant activity in Nevada, which is part of the Nevada seismic zone. And all these systems are linked together. Some really interesting geology, plate tectonics, and more, which we'll cover in today's video. We've also had some big solar activity today. So a huge solar explosion. It registered as a 5.7 M-class flare, but look at the amount of plasma that blasted off the sun today with this explosion, this sunspot group right here rotating towards Earth center and direct. It will be lined up with us exactly during our critical energy convergence that we have identified for mid-May. What does that mean? Well, it's when you have multiple things coming together, and typically when that happens, as we've been tracking on the channel and other people do it, I'm not the only one, whatever, you track this stuff, you see that when you have multiple factors aligned, they often work together synergistically, and it's sort of the whole is greater than the sum. So you'll have a big, very active sunspot, which has blasted off X-class flares in the past. It blasted off about 5 different coronal mass ejections towards Venus when it was aligned with Venus back just on the other side of the sun, just off the limb, the far side, rotating into view. That was a few days ago. On the 15th of May, we will have Mercury exactly opposite the Earth on the other side of the sun. This is a superior conjunction of Mercury, and we often see, like, there's a very clear trend with superior conjunctions of Mercury, the planet closest to the sun, with the fastest orbital velocity, that angular momentum around the sun, with a magnetic field, that we get big solar activity. So we will have the sunspot right in line with us, and in addition to that, we will have this large coronal hole, which is perfectly correlated with the biggest earthquakes that we've had for the past year. Every single month in that position, Earth center direct and in that G effective zone. Check out that shock wave. If this had hit us, this would be a big solar storm. Very likely severe, almost certainly a severe geomagnetic storm. That's a G4 storm. The scale rating goes one beyond that to an extreme storm, and that certainly could have happened because that was a big explosion. Only registered as a 5.7 on the X-class rating, the X-ray flux rating, but the strength of a solar flare in terms of that designation is not one-to-one with the strength of the solar storm launched out. You see it's very high velocity. That shock wave is almost instantaneous. That would have been a big one. We could get a big one in just 3, 5, 7 days. That's really that time window from the 13th of May to 17th when this sunspot's really kind of tracking in this central zone, which we kind of call the Earth strike zone. Yeah, some people really hope that it hits because they want to see aurora. They want to see plasma ribbons in the atmosphere. I get it. It's cool. You don't want to be too big because it can actually knock out satellites. It can knock out telecommunication, GPS, and also, well, like power grids. So I'm not someone that's on board with give us the big one personally. Though maybe we should knock out all these AI data centers. I don't know. Regardless, a big event today from the sun. We can also see it here with our coronagraph view. So what we're seeing is the sun with this white circle, but we put a disk over it. That allows us to block out the majority of the light so we can see the dimmer light of the corona, and we see this huge plasma ejection going out. And guess what? There is Mercury. So I'm talking about this critical convergence in mid-May. Mercury's right there swinging around the far side. Another factor into that, you have the huge sunspot. You have the coronal hole, which is linked with the high magnitude 7+ earthquakes that we've been having going all the way back to July of 2025. You also have a new moon just a day later. So that's also a pretty powerful energetic moment. You know, we have our lunar cycle. You always have new moons, full moons, quarter moons, but when the lunar cycle lines up with these lower frequency, like less frequent, right, celestial phenomenon, well, then you pay attention. So we have a lot to cover in today's video. We are going to go through it quickly. We're going to do a big deep dive into the seismicity of California and the Western United States. That is the main drive of this video, but I wanted to give you this space weather and solar update because we've been seeing big earthquakes line up with these space weather events. And all that, for the most part, has been concentrated in the Western Pacific. So think Japan, think Malaysia, think Papua New Guinea, and think Fiji, Samoa, Indonesia, Philippines, all those beautiful, wonderful places, right? The volcanoes have been popping off like crazy there. You have big eruptions from the most powerful and active volcanoes in Japan, the Philippines, Indonesia, just in the past few days. That's maybe a bigger plate movement coming, but there's been a deficiency of, you could say, reciprocal activity in the Eastern Pacific, which is, well, you guessed it, that is North America. So that does not mean that it will happen here. We're actually not guaranteed to get an earthquake at all. It's just very likely. The correlation is very strong, and there's some very good science explaining how it's not just correlation, but actually causation. It's hard to...
So, hey, earthquake watch in the U.S. You know, I mean, we had a bunch of tornadoes, you know, destroy the Midwest. Let's bring an earthquake on. You know what I'm saying? May the Most High cast judgment on this place. America's due for a large earthquake too, like, you know, like back in the 1910s in San Francisco or whatever, the great earthquake. America needs a shake up. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and our God is the God to do it. You know, so we're gonna check that out. Like you said, it's a conjunction with Mercury on the 15th. So as we're celebrating the new moon, it's going to be Mercury, the sun, and I guess the United States, Earth, you know what I mean, in conjunction with each other. I'm not sure what the conjunction is. I think he said it, but my bad. So we'll see. New moon, could be a lot of shaking going on. Let's look into that. Let's continue on. Let's talk about the chariots. They had a release of chariot data. You know what I'm saying? The United States government has finally admitted that there are strange craft, same craft that's talked about in the Bible, that are in the skies watching and knocking off their nuclear missiles and, you know, standing over their military facilities, and they can't do anything about it. And they, you know, at one point in time, well, they was calling everybody crazy. You know what I'm saying? Somebody see a UFO, like, yo, I saw something in the sky. It wasn't a plane. It wasn't a helicopter. I don't know what it was. And then they do this disinformation campaign towards these people, right? And, you know, have them thinking that they crazy. Like, did I not see it? Now I'm in the paper and everybody's laughing at me. I lost my job. Like, people have get 302 after the United States was done destroying their reputation and so forth and so on. And that's even declassified. You know, how to send disinformation and a smear campaign on the person that's seen it. And now look, they're saying that not only they exist, we've been watching them, you know, for the longest, and here's the information. You know, it's supposed to be more coming out, you know, later on in life or whatever like that. Later on, I think this month, you know what I mean? But we'll see. But it's like we're getting a little truth coming out of Esau. Now, where are they going to go with it? We'll see. But let's see. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 1, verse 1. Because Ezekiel seen some things. You know what I'm saying? You know, our ancestors seen some things. You know, we're seeing some things. So it's something that, you know, let's talk about it. Let's get down to the nitty gritty, you know. So Ezekiel chapter 1 and verse 1. God, you're on mute. God.
John, this is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 1 and verse 1. Now it came to pass in the 30th year, in the 4th month, in the 5th day of the month, as I was among the captives by the river of Shabar, that the heavens were open, and I saw visions of Yahweh.
So this is what we talking about. This is visions of Yahweh by Shemel Shai. You know what I'm saying? The Most High, Christ, and the angels. Just, they're in the chariots. So the same thing Ezekiel seeing by the river. That's the same thing that, you know, we're seeing here in Babylon. Okay, let's go to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 2, because they swore we was crazy, you know.
All right.
And I always revert back to, you know, thinking how the elders 30 years ago were saying, hey, there's UFOs out here. And, they, you know, this is in the midst of the disinformation campaign. So as they're telling people, yo, this is in the Bible and it's in the third, like, oh, you people are crazy. Look at you Power Rangers and, you know, you're just racist and this, that, and the third. And now look, the U.S. government, now your government's telling you, and people are like, oh, okay, no big deal. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because they've been lied to so much, they don't think it's like a, you know, a huge thing. Like, okay, yeah, it makes sense. But before, it was all jokes and laughter, hee, ha, ha. You know what I mean? But now, all praise to the Most High, the truth is coming out, and you know, it's going to exalt us, the Israelites, and the elders. It will what's the word? You know, I don't want to say justify, but like, you know what I mean? Like the stuff that they're saying wasn't lies, it's the truth. Now your government's saying so, you know, go argue with your government. Go ahead, King. You bring it out.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, and verse 2.
Khan.
This is the big book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, and verse 2. Verse 2. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond that all that they looked for.
So, you know, when they see it, it's gonna be it's fearful, it's scary, you know what I mean? They'll be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation. You telling me? And it, you know, goes out further, like, you mean these guys? Those guys that we walk by and spit at, and you know what I mean? We fought them last year. You telling me that they're, you know, numbered with the children of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai? Like, yeah. You know, so now that we're in the mainstream of the chariots, and you know, you could go, I'm not going to argue with anybody. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, people say that this is going to a blue beam scenario. I wouldn't be surprised. This is what Esau does. He's a constant liar. But keep in mind that just because he might be moving in that direction doesn't mean the Most High is going to allow him to move in that direction. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, what's his name? Haman had the gallows set up, but he didn't hang Mordecai. You know what I mean? Right. The Most High might say, yeah, they're going to put it out there for everybody just so they get scared and, you know, have it on their mind. And then we're going to do this, then the third. But the mainstream acknowledgement of so-called UFOs is something obviously Yahweh wants to happen. You know what I mean? So I'm looking at it from that perspective rather than what Esau got up his sleeve. He's always going to lie. You know what I'm saying? When is he going to tell the truth? Right. It's a question. Right. You know what I'm saying? So with that in mind, let's see the mainstream acknowledgement of the chariots.
This morning, a trove of images showing decades of unidentified objects is sparking curiosity among starry-eyed enthusiasts. The Pentagon releasing photos, videos, and reports of some 400 unresolved UFO sightings from the past 80 years, including this infrared video from 2013, taken somewhere in the Middle East by the U.S. military. It appears to show a star-shaped object flying erratically and leaving a trail behind. And in this audio from 1965, astronaut Frank Borman can be heard documenting an unidentified object while aboard Gemini 7.
We have several, looks like the three up there, actual Friday.
NASA transcripts from 4 years later are also part of this release. Buzz Aldrin telling the government he saw a possible laser in space. And these images taken from the Apollo 17 mission in 1972 show strange lights observed in space from the moon. Every Apollo mission has reported similar lights.
There are these really cool snapshots of what it's like to be an astronaut, exploring new things for the first time, and then to see things that they at first couldn't explain.
The Pentagon says this is the first of what will be several declassified document dumps about the unidentified object sightings at the direction of President Trump. The president now touts complete and maximum transparency, writing it's up to the public to decide for themselves what the hell is going on.
These files released by the Pentagon do not give any solid evidence for life beyond Earth.
Now, keep in mind, I just wanted to pause it real quick with this guy. It has no solid evidence of, you know what I'm saying? Like, who is this guy? Like, this guy, this is their expert. You know what I'm saying? Looks like Amalek. You see his Big Bang book. I don't know if that's the Big Bang Theory or some freaky stuff that Amalek got going on in the background. So I don't know if that's a candle. What was that, a candle of an Edomite saint? I don't know. I don't know what he got going on, but obviously it means something. You know, obviously somebody's out there, you know, but you know, what do you expect from the devil? So disregard whatever this weirdo's saying.
In life in general. But that doesn't mean we aren't continuing in the investigation and the search for life.
Now, while this release gives a new way for people to view these files, a large portion of the incidents themselves have been publicly available, and many were taken from military bases, which tend to have a higher level of surveillance. So, with no certainty, Whit, the search and the speculation continues.
Okay, Mike, here.
And not for nothing, if we are really paying attention to Esau and how he moves as far as his lies and his propaganda and this, that, and the third, what they're doing is they're really keeping it basic. They're like, are we going to find out if is there life beyond Earth? I mean, that's kind of, you know, if you ask anybody that's been paying attention to anything, then that's a definite. You know, you could see a craft go from the water to the atmosphere to, you know, in the Earth, right? In the Earth, and then go outside of the atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? And go outside the you know, Earth into space in a matter of like a second. So until the United States, Russia, or somebody has that type of technology, yeah, there's life, you know, outside of the Earth. Because think about it, Donald Trump and all these power-hungry men are so, you know, got their mind on domination and taking over and all this other stuff that they really, you know, if they had this type of technology, they would have used it to destroy the entire planet. Right? So with that in mind, they don't. Okay. My question, or the question I want to hear them try to answer, is who are in these crafts and what are their intentions? Do they get out? You know what I'm saying? Do they walk around? Can they look like us? And the Bible will tell you all that stuff is absolutely true. You know what I mean? Genesis 19, they went to Sodom and Gomorrah like, we're going to see what's going on over here. And since this is modern day Sodom and Gomorrah, you can imagine how many angels are walking around. What they would call aliens, but how many angels are walking around just blending in with everybody. You know, that's why it's best to treat people with kindness and respect, because you might be dealing with an angel. You know what I mean? And if you treat him a certain way, he might just chop off your damn head and just ruin your entire life. You know, but hopefully we all understand that. Let's move on. Okay, we got this guy, Chud the Builder, Tennessee. You know what I'm saying? Today, apparently, he shot himself. Okay, there's other reports that he shot somebody else as well, but he's walking up to people and, you know, calling them all types of names, you know, what the internet calls the hard R, you know what I mean? And calling them the hard R and waiting for a reaction, you know what I'm saying? And I would always say, you know, if we see that at camp, I say, yo, give me Acts 13:1. Yeah, let's talk about it. You know what I mean? And just throw it right back in their face. But you know, Jake don't know who he is, so he's wilding out. You know what I mean? He hasn't wilded out for real, you know what I mean, to the point where this dude is dead. And that shows you how Esau gets a pass in a lot of things, because if that was Jake doing that, they would have been fighting, they would have been, you know, shooting each other, this, that, and the third. But you see Esau, and they're like, man, that's like Jesus. Jesus, you don't like me? You know what I mean? Which is sad. But yeah, apparently he shot himself. Okay. But it came out that Main Man is like a real weirdo, right? Let's get Hebrews 12 and 16. Like when I say, you know, he's into some fetishes, you know, his fetishes got exposed on the internet because the people that he was doing his you know, unnatural sex with exposed him. You know what I mean? So it makes sense. Now he's actually aggressive on black men and, oh, you're this and you're that, because he actually likes you. You know what I'm saying? Like he likes boys. You know what I'm saying? So he just doesn't know how to. He like a third grader. He doesn't know how to express his feelings. So he starts calling people names. But of course, on the flip side, unlike a third grader, he has bear mace and a gun. So he's allowed to go ham and cheese out there and just, you know, disrespect brothers and this, that, and the third. But I asked this question: if he was doing this to Jewish people, to Jewish men, would it be allowed? You know, let's think about that. And another thing, I'm probably gonna talk about this next week because this is kind of new. The brother down Kensington.
Oh yeah,
the brother down Kensington. So people that don't know, outside of Philadelphia, it's a dude that's and it's made international news. He's walking around with an AR-15, and like he's like, "Oh, I can do this," and you know, there's nothing nobody can do about it. This, that, and the third. And Ty was bringing this out at camp, like it ain't gonna last long. You know what I'm saying? Like they gonna find some way to get the ball. And apparently, I ain't gonna talk about it too much, but apparently he loaned the gun. Like somebody said, "Yo, let me see that, Joe," and just took it from him. So now the cops, you know, the DA charged him. His bail is $2.5 million. He is not getting out, and he has a bunch of felonies and all this other stuff now. So going that route with guns and all that without having the Most High on your side and with no plan, that ain't gonna work. It hasn't worked before. It ain't gonna work now. You know what I'm saying? We gotta have that spiritual defense because our weapon of war are not carnal. You saw that, King, right? With the
yeah, man. It's like I don't know what he was thinking, but it only Salaki. It only matters when they actually got you on camera. You know what I'm saying? Because they just was waiting for that moment where we got to get them on something.
Yeah.
And now the lady downtown, what's her name? Lorenza is the one that pointed it out to the district about what he was doing. Because I did see that earlier. She was just saying that, you know, Kensington is a war zone, you know, and we can't have this, that, and the third. So they was waiting for the young brother to do something stupid like that, you know, just, you know, wilding and going around with the AR-15 and just to hand it over to somebody that's not even supposed to have it. Now the bail is so high, you can't even post the 10%. You know what I mean? So it's chess, man. That's what I say all the time. It's chess. You know? They play chess with us, man. And we you know, they want sweet equity.
Yeah.
That's another topic right there. Sweet equity out of us. You know what I mean? So genius. I almost say genius.
Yeah, oh boy, he's in the lockup right now. You know what I mean? And like you said, they playing chess, and they're like they knew they might have sent the guy to let me see if I can get this John. You know what I mean? So
you ain't see Ray in like 20 years. You ain't see Ray. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You see the bull like 10 years ago, and all of a sudden he out now. Well, look what I'm doing.
Right. Hey man, let me see that joint real quick, man. You know me, brother. And then as soon as he pass that joint, they come out. But then the flip side to that, what I'm bringing with the Chud the Builder, he ain't getting none of this smoke. Like he has to blatantly, like, I'm not paying a $400 bill. You know what I'm saying? I'm at a restaurant, I'm not paying my bill. Yeah, you're going to go to jail. You know what I'm saying? But when he's going up to brothers and saying, yo, you chimping out, look at him. Yeah, and then you see the brothers like, yo, oh shit, he got a gun. So he's flashing the pistol. You know what I'm saying? So he's going up, calling people names, flashing a gun, you know what I mean? Mason people, you know what I mean? And nothing happens to him. So this is this is America, man. That's why this place gotta go. You know what I mean? It's just it's not all equal, obviously, right? But let's look at Chud and and his I haven't watched this video. It might have some choice words in it, just FYI. But it talks about his obsession with Black men is because he's obsessed, you know, sexually with Black men. Oh wait, hold on. Let me see. This isn't the right video. Give me 1 second.
Curiosity is pigs.
See something.
All right, guys.
Here it is.
So lately, y'all, I have been honing into my pattern recognition skills. And with me doing so, I picked up on a pipeline that we don't talk about enough. This is the closeted homosexual down low type of individual to white supremacist or white nationalist pipeline. And obviously, this is no hate towards the LGBT community. Shout out to y'all. These people are some of the most loving and coolest, individuals I've interacted with. But I bring this pipeline up because a lot of these dudes, they are anti-LGBTQ. They talk about feminism. They hate women so much, but they gay as hell. Like, that's a huge hypocrisy. And what it also correlates to is the obsession with black people, specifically black men. They're always talking about us having this black fatigue, but it's really just black obsession. And they want some goddamn black meat. Pause. Now I'm going to show y'all multiple examples. But for our first one, let's talk about Nick Fuentes. So right here we have a clip of him, and his caption is actually crazy how subversive and fake this little queer is. Calling men cigarettes for wanting to get married and have kids.
Guys are like, I can't wait to be a dad. I can't wait to be a husband. I can't wait to go to my kid's graduation. It's like, that shit is boring. That shit is fucking boring, and you should feel bored. It should feel like an obligation.
So we pausing already, y'all. I am a father and I am married. And I will say that this is the lifestyle that I wanted. I was excited to get married. I was excited to be a dad. And in fact, I got a picture right here of me and my wife, when my twins are first born. Shit, you would think I just had them. You know what I'm saying? Happy as hell. One of the best moments of my life. Obviously, if that lifestyle isn't for you, then it's not for you. But that's subjective. I'm also the type of person that don't like to party. I don't like to be around a lot of people. But I don't talk down on individuals that like to do that. That's your life. And even just coming from a standpoint of Nick Fuentes, you're a Christian, this white nationalist type of dude, that is something that you should stand for, right? And I literally cherish the moments going out with my family, going to events with my kids and my wife, taking them to Chuck E. Cheese, taking them to the trampoline park. These be some of the highlights. You know what I'm saying? It's fun as hell to me.
I want to see my kids' recital because it's so meaningful. Like, men have become so sentimental. Sentimentality is not a masculine virtue. That is for it's.
And this is the sentiment of a lot of these red pill dudes as well. They have this fixation on hyper masculinity. Like, you can't show emotion to your children and be happy to spend time with the family you created. What? That is the dumbest shit I've ever heard, dog. A man wanting to spend time with his kids and family is gay? How?
These overly sentimental men, it's like it should be a chore. Because it's not like the deal of marriage is like, look, men want to have sex with hundreds of women. That's what all men want to do. Men want to have sex with hundreds of women.
This is what you got to understand, bro. Not everybody wants to live that type of lifestyle. And especially a lot of these dudes that talk about having discipline and being this alpha male type of guy. If you're that type of guy, all these women shouldn't have access to you. Like, if you're going to be an alpha male, that's how you should be. You should be doing semen retention. Every girl shouldn't be able to bounce on your shit. Being able to have discipline to reject the girl that want to talk to you. That is the real alpha male. You giving yourself up to this girl, that girl. You're a weak-minded man. You can't turn shit down. She might have something. You know what I'm saying? Especially with all these diseases going around, bro. Listen, it's best to have you a partner. Obviously, I understand people want to have fun, to each his own. But I say, man, if you're going to be this alpha male and hold yourself to this standard, every girl should not be able to have contact with you. They should not be able to sleep with you.
And men want to live alone. Men want to live alone and have sex with hundreds of women.
Sorry to pause again, but most men don't. As you get older, bro, I'm only 24. I'm talking like I'm old. But anyway, a lot, like I say, when you see a lot of these stories of older women, older men, the only thing they really be like is, man, I should have spent more time with my family. I wish I would have did this. Because when you get older, bro, once you get to 60, 50, 60, bro, them girls ain't gonna be flocking to you, especially if you're broke. Even if you have money, you're just spending money tricking off. Like, what type of value is that? I could never understand that lifestyle. Like, you're only going to be happy in that instance of you doing sexual acts with the women.
And what happens is you have sex and you have a kid, and then you're obligated to like stick with the woman and raise the kid. And that's why your testosterone goes down. You kind of stop being a man for a little while. And then you're in it. Okay, all right, now I'm going to raise my kids. Now she's going to take care of me. She's my old lady. Like, that's the deal.
Yeah, man. So Nick Fuentes is basically, I guess, turning into a red pill creator. I don't know. Like I said, I've always seen him promote marriage and all this type of stuff, but I just find it funny, man. These are the same dudes that'll be like, the white race is dying. It's y'all fault. You DL, bro. You just don't like women. You want to be around the bros all day. You want to be around the dudes all day. you gay, and that's cool. But just live your truth and don't try to talk down on people that want to have a family, that want to be tied down, because not everybody has the mindset of you, especially if you promoting this great white race. You should be telling men that they should be finding a partner and settling down, having children, have all these amounts of kids. You're the one that constantly talk about the white race dying. So yeah, man, Nick Fuentes is an interesting character, dog. Very interesting. So now, y'all, let's talk about good old Chud the Builder, the guy that goes around harassing black people. But info has came out about this guy that he is a homosexual. As we see right here, for example, there is a picture of him dressed up in a fairy suit, and he also has a Bob Marley, picture back here. You know what I'm saying? I tell y'all that black obsession be real. And right here we have a post from the great I Expose Racists and Pedos. Shout out to his Twitter page. Make sure y'all check him out. But it says, Chud the Builder, the racist clown who films himself screaming the N-word at black people, just got exposed. The trans content creator Lily Venus says she had a full, intimate sexual relationship with Chud around 2015, including pegging, threesomes, and weed. She straight up calls herself a professional pegger for white male clients. So the fake tough alpha guy was getting bent over and pegged this whole time. Now, before we watch this video, I want to show y'all the interaction that this woman had with the Chud on stream. Like, they ran into each other on a weird coincidence. And after that happened, she came and posted this video. So let's watch that one first.
I don't really remember you, but you do look familiar.
Are you still in there?
No, I'm Dalton. I've always been Dalton, but I am a Chud.
Right, but you're not my Dalton. You used to come to my house. I fed you.
Yeah, you were cool as shit. I remember you. I don't remember you that much, but I do remember I know you. See, we got roots. Hey, you scared me a little bit when you came up like that.
You helped me when you were following Liver King. But before you were following Liver King, you used to sell me weed. I fed you before.
It's been a long time. But I healed your stomach by teaching you how to eat real food.
I'm Lana, but that's
Lana.
Fine. I'm confused what happened to you. Because you're not racist. I know that. I fed you.
But so you believe in freedom of speech.
I do.
So I should be allowed to say too, right?
Right, but you
then that's the only point. That's it.
People don't.
Bro, they be faking. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say he's not racist, but he's doing it because it's a grift. In 2026, it is extremely profitable to be racist. These edgy teenagers, white teens, they eat that shit up.
Have emotional intelligence. They can't.
Is that my fault?
But listen, you got to be careful because...
Hold on, mi amigo.
What's up, y'all? Lily Venus here. Pretty with a big... It's literally in my bio. I'm only bringing this up because Chud the Builder's cameraman put our conversation on Broadway on YouTube. Now, millions of people know what I look like fresh off work. Fucking great. But in the caption, it said that Black woman who used to smoke mid and get raw dogged by Chud the Builder. Well, he's not lying. I already told y'all we used to smoke. He used to sell me weed. And we did raw dog. A lot. Me, him, and my ex-wife. I am a professional pegger. It is no secret that I perform prostate massages, if you will, for men. I've been doing it for a very long time now. Most of my clientele is white men. We sign NDA agreements. I talk about me pegging all the time, but I never tell you names because discretion is key. Confidentiality is why my client list is so long. But Chud mentioned it first. I think that he said it the way he said it because the white supremacists were probably like, ew, you used to hang out with a black girl. Shame on you.
Yeah.
So you had to make it sound good. But see, here's the thing. I'm an egregore too. Lily Venus, hi. Hail the great mother. So I am all about enlightenment, controversy, occultism, witchcraft, and of course, love. So me talking about this is what my brand is about. Let's expose it, bro. He was a little chubbier then. His cheeks used to clap in such like the cutest way. Now Chud, he doesn't even have a little chubby butt no more. So I probably wouldn't him again. But I'm wondering, did you bring that up because you want to spin the block? Now, when I first met him, he was a virgin. And I'm having a hunch that he probably hasn't been, like, if you're going to say that, we say the whole truth, okay? Now, with that being said, why do I peg? Because it's a hustle and it helps me get through college. I'm still in college, but now I don't have a choice. I will forever be a top because I had a surgery 3 years ago. The doctor fucked up and chopped my coochie off. You don't believe me? The link is in the bio. I have been this way my whole life. My ex-girlfriends can vouch for me. I am a top. I men and I women with my. So I'm not going to give this any more attention. Today is Sunday. Happy Mother's Day. I'm not bringing this into next week. Stop fucking asking me where can you find Chud. He's on Broadway. The same way I found him, you can go find him too. Bye.
I 100% believe her. Even with the first interaction we seen, he was like, yeah, he was.
Slocky, can you bring out Hebrews chapter 12 and 16? Because apparently this dude is on I mean, put him out there, you know what I'm saying?
Con, this is the book of Hebrews, chapter 12 and verse 16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright.
Yeah, man, like a fornicator, profane, you know, just a sexual deviant, man. You know what I'm saying? And you know, these last days, you can see how the Most High is exposing people. You know, oh, they swore, oh, Chud, he's look at him, he's an alpha, and the way he talks to these niggas and everything like that. Bull's a literal fairy. Like literally, he's a fairy. So let's continue to watch the rest of it.
He's trying to basically play like he didn't really know her. He knew her. You know what I'm saying? He knew her. He just tried to play it off because his white supremacist audience, the little edgy teens, would have been like, oh my God, you was messing with a black person. They're going to realize that he's grifting. Now, the final example I want to talk about, though, is another white supremacist, but this supremacist isn't white. He's actually an African. His real name is Amaru, aka Myron Gaines. This is one of the biggest white supremacists on the internet. He goes so hard for white men, but he isn't white. On live stream, he had this to say about Chud, and I want to listen to this first, and we'll talk about the other proof.
Honestly, bro, all you guys in chat, if any of you guys were like offended by by this, like, I'm sorry to tell you, you mad at some white guy with a mustache saying on a stream, bro, I don't know what to tell you. You're gonna have a tough life, my friend. You should be able to look at shit like this and just laugh because of like.
All right, so look, man, Myron, the reason he thinks like this is because he wants that white proximity. He needs it. And I just find it funny that men like him, they claim to be this tough alpha male type, but in the presence of a white man, when it's a white man that needs to be checked, they quiet, they pussy as fuck. They'll tolerate disrespect. But let it be a woman, especially a black woman, like with a lot of these black alpha male dudes, they will dog shit and pile on their women. But it's a white man in their presence. They silent as fuck. Straight up bitches. Because you will never see a white man openly letting the talk about his woman. You won't see that shit. And that's my whole problem with a lot of these black red pill dudes. Obviously, we do have problems within the community, but don't get on fucking podcasts with the white co-hosts talking about your women. If we're going to be leaders, let's be real leaders. And Myron is one of those, you know, I don't even consider him black, but he wants to be white. So he's always been kissing up to the white dudes, doing all this weird shit. Look at the pictures on the screen. He was in college, you know, basically the token black. So early on, he had to realize that, man, I got to suck up to these white dudes. I can't disrespect them shit. I might have to be gay. I might have to do things I don't want to do to get their attention. And that's what the fuck he ended up doing. Straight up weirdo. But yeah, I'm not gonna watch the rest of this video, man. This shit gonna piss me off. But like I said, Myron has fallen off. Because, I mean, what else can he do? He's already dressed up in a Nazi costume, KKK costume, said all the racist shit, bro. We get it, bro. You hate yourself. That's it for this video, though. I hope you.
And, you know, he's guy Myron, he's ham. You know, that's a Hamite. He went to like I forget, like the Charlie Kirk, you know, TPPS, you know, toilet paper USA, whatever it's called. He went up there and he tried to get in. They're like, nah, you can't. You ain't got no ticket. You ain't getting in. Or, you know, if it was somebody that they respected, like, oh, come on in. You know what I'm saying? And he might have had a ticket. And they're like, nah, we a little too, you know what I'm saying? We want more of this and less of this. So he's looking stupid on the outside in the lobby, you know, calling people like, oh, they won't let me in, and everybody filming him and laughing at him. But, you know, a lot of white supremacists, man, white supremacists don't respect these type of guys that, you know what I mean, that will sell out, even though like he's not Israel, you know what I mean? He'll sell out you know, his melanin, I guess, you know what I mean? Not necessarily, well, he's ham, so you know, it makes sense that he don't like black people, but or Israelites. But you know, whatever Esau wants, he's gonna jump through a hoop to get, you know what I mean? But at the same time, they don't like him. You know what I mean? Esau really don't respect people like that, you know. me and Elder Macabre, and the brothers that went to January 6th when they, raided the Capitol, we talk about all the time how those Edomites are like, yeah, man, we hear what you guys are saying. You know what I'm saying? Hey, put it there, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like they could have had a whole nother different type of energy, but if they see you fighting for your people, they're like, all right, I respect that, rather than the person that wants some like Tariq Nasheed says, butter biscuits. You know what I'm saying? That's not respected at all. All right, now let me go back. I'm gonna finish up. I know it's getting late. Let me go back. Let's get Isaiah chapter 66, verse 15. All right. And hopefully, that bullet gets lodged up in Chud's whatever, because apparently he shot himself with a graze. And hopefully, not only did he get shot, but he'll stay in jail if he shot somebody. You know what I'm saying? So if he shot somebody, most high willing, the DA lock his ass up. You know what I'm saying? Put him in cuffs and give him no bail. So now he gets to really enjoy the inside. You know what I'm saying? Get to really enjoy jail and prison without his gun and his bear mace and just his hands and his wit. And I don't think he's gonna make it that far. You know what I'm saying? He likes black men. That's weird. But they'll probably be having him stand on the toilet singing love songs. You know what I mean? All right, but let's bring that out. Isaiah chapter 66 and verse 15. We're gonna talk about the fires that's happening around the country. All right. And we got it. You can bring it out.
Come, this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 66 and verse 15.
Con.
For behold, the Lord will come with fire and with chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire.
Con. Okay, so 1 second. The Lord is not playing in these last days. Let me share that. Okay. And he's coming with fire. Okay. Rebuke with flames of fire. Okay, read on.
For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many.
So right now, what we're seeing is these fires that are occurring in these refineries. So think gas was high now. You know what I'm saying? If they ain't got refineries and they're having fires all the time, it's gonna look really bad. And apparently the last tanker to go through the Strait of Hormuz landed in, I think, LA or not LA, Long Beach or whatever. I think the 8th or something. This landed not too long ago. So when you see the process of oil and how this works, you know what I'm saying? You got ships constantly moving, constantly coming in, getting oil from, the so-called Middle East, this, that, and the third. What are we going to do now? Even though the price is high, is it going to remain high, or is it not going to be no oil at all? So it's something to look at. But let's look at what's going on around the country as far as the oil issues.
All right, guys, we have yet another incident here where an oil refinery has gone up in flames, this time injuring at least 6 people. And I couldn't even get a full 24 hours after the last report without having to kick out another one. It seems these are being targeted. We are at war and we are under attack. This is pretty clear. In this incident, 6 people injured at this Mexico facility ran by Pemex. This is in Salina Cruz. They say a loud explosion rocked residents there in the area. And then video popped up showing this fire from a distance. And you can see the blaze at that facility here from this shot. Now we have a long list of these places getting hit, and they're stacking up big time. And with the Straits of Hormuz fiasco still ongoing, this is going to cause major issues in the coming weeks. All these places getting hit, some of them will recover quicker than others, but this facility that just got hit had a fire in January. So this is the second time this year, this place alone. Then there was another, the primary Pemex facility down there in Mexico. It was rocked just here recently. You had Moscow, their second largest refinery, getting blasted. Then Australia, they had a major refinery go up in flames there. Okay. Then when you turn to the United States, we had Port Arthur that just took place here recently. Then we had New Orleans. And then just last night or yesterday, we had Oklahoma. This is crazy. This is more than I've ever seen ever before. And I believe there's something going on here with this. I will continue to follow these events and report on them. Follow me on X and join me for the live streams going live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. 8.
Yeah. So, oil refineries going up in flames, going up in smoke. The Lord said coming with fire. You know what I'm saying? And it would be interesting. A lot of people, it's a video that just went out. It was I don't know who the guy's name was. I can't tell you. He says, with the disclosure of the so-called UFOs, he's saying something's going on to put them, put a battery in their back, pretty much. Like, and 9 times out of 10 is probably bad. You know what I'm saying? So if, say, for instance, it's because they have security for these facilities, you know what I'm saying? And at the very least, they could say, oh, it was a red van or a black van, and we got to look for this one. Here's the tag, or this, that, and a third. Like, for things to just start exploding out of nowhere, they keep that under wraps for a reason. Just say, for instance, it's a chariot and it's just shooting laser beams at the refineries, leading this process of destabilization and collapse on the empire. Something to think about, okay? Now, let's get Leviticus chapter 20, verse 13. I got 2 more stories. This one's pretty quick. If you heard about it, there's an NBA, the first openly gay NBA player. And they love that, man. You know what I'm saying? They love when our men are in that state, if you will. You know what I'm saying? They love it when, oh, he's not having no children. He's not gonna be able to move the needle to help his people. You know what I mean? Like, they like that. You know what I'm saying? That's why the LGBTQ plus is elevated. You know what I'm saying? And they do that with the Democrats. You know what I'm saying? But the Republicans love it too. They're like, good, less nigga we gotta worry about. You know what I mean? But they don't want their people to be like that, even though they are. We said evidence right there, because they want children because they're dying out. All right, but let's bring that out. See what the Lord has to say.
God, this is the book of Leviticus, chapter 20 and verse 13. If a man also lie with mankind, as he lies with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them.
Okay, so the world will say, oh man, that's his truth. He's living his truth. Love is love. He came out like that. I was with Lady Gaga say I was born this way, and this, that, and the third. What does the Lord say? Yo, if you do that, it's an abomination, and you shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. You know what I mean? And we don't get any joy out of the brother dying because it's our brother. You know what I'm saying? So if it was Esau, get him out of here. Other nations, get him out of here. Wish the brother would have repented. You know what I'm saying? We want our brothers to repent. You know what I mean? Like the scriptures say. All right. But hey, this is judgment, so we definitely gonna talk about it. And I looked up, I couldn't think about it. I remember it was the first openly gay football player as well. And what?
Oh, Con.
You know what I'm saying? Michael Sams or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
On the Rams. I think he played on the Rams.
Con. And the thing about him, I was like, they did him dirty because they drafted him like 7th round. He didn't play nothing.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? He went to Dallas. He went on a practice squad and they got him out of there. So it's like they drafted him to be like, yo, look at this big black Negro that's a homosexual, and we could put him, you know, we parade him out there to the world. Like, you can be in the NFL and be gay too, and this, that, and the third. But what happened? He ain't play like one snap. You know what I'm saying? So they will put you out there as the you know, the face of you know, black masculinity. You know, look how we can emasculate these men, but then they throw you away, and you know, he's like a coach somewhere now. All right, but let's watch the report.
So lately, y'all, I have been honing into.
We have more breaking news. Jason Collins, the NBA's first openly gay player, has died from brain cancer. He was 47 years old. Collins went to Harvard Westlake High School with his twin brother. He then went on to Stanford, and he played for several teams in the NBA. In 2013, he announced he was gay. He retired in 2014. Last November, Collins told ESPN that he'd been diagnosed with stage 4 glioblastoma.
Yeah, look, man, God ain't playing. God ain't playing with nobody. So, you know, prepare. Don't listen to what the world will tell you. Listen to what the scriptures will tell you. You know what I'm saying? And you know, he and they love them. They love emasculating black men. You know, strong, athletic, and everything like that. You know, but you know, he's going against nature. He's going against the Most High God. And 47's young to die of brain cancer, man. That's, you know what I'm saying?
Salakia. Yeah, I was just thinking that. I was like, yeah, right next to the brother right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. That's the Lord don't play no games. You know, he ain't live out his life peacefully and, you know, with his NBA money and kicking his feet up and everything, because he had all the money in the world in the NBA. So millions of dollars, you can get a doctor millions of dollars. If the Most High says it's a wrap, it's a wrap. So that should be, you know, more evidence that, you know, money don't mean nothing. You know what I'm saying? Following the Lord, that's the plan. You know, prepare yourself, not getting all your money together and I'm gonna get gold and I'm gonna get this and I'm gonna get that. You can't take none of that, you know?
Yeah.
He couldn't, you know. So now he's dealing with the Heavenly Father. And what do you think that conversation is like? You know, I think we already got the information right there. All right. So now let's get Ezekiel chapter 4 and verse 13. We talked about this before. This is the last one. Thanks for you know, making it this far, right? And if you made it this far, you know, put a like, comment, and share. Public Shaw. We talked about this. I don't know if we really divulged into it, but we talk about things that we should be doing. Like, hey man, eat some fruit. You know what I mean? Eat an orange. You know, hopefully you ain't got no vitamin C allergies or whatever like that. But eat an apple. Eat a pear. Eat a, you know what I mean, soursop. Eat different, you know, fruits. Your body responds well to it. Same thing with vegetables and exercise and water and all that. We talk about all that, but we don't normally talk about what we shouldn't be eating, you know? So I think we're gonna talk about that some more, you know? Apparently the meat industry, we're going to talk about that. Y'all might not like it, but damn it, we got to talk about it. There's not enough cows in the world to keep up with the McDonald's and Burger Kings and Wendy's and Five Guys and every burger that you eat in America. There's not enough cows for a daily consumption of all the meat, right? So when they test the meat and they find out there's humans in it, there's rats in it, it's horse meat. Listen, don't shoot the messenger. You know what I'm saying? And brothers, you know what I'm saying? Ty can vouch for this. When you stop eating that stuff, your body feels better. You're not lazy.
Right.
You're moving around. You're thinking
Right.
clearly. You want to talk about that, brother, for a little bit?
Khan, Salakia, like the amount of energy that you get, that's one thing I noticed. You know what I mean? I've been up since 5 a.m.
Look at that. You know what I'm saying? Still going strong.
You know what I mean? Like I've been up since 5. Did a whole 14-hour shift, and you know what I mean, doing the work of the Lord. You know what I mean? That's definitely something that I would tell brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But it's just now what they're doing. Bill Gates and all them, man. It's like you said, it's not enough cows. It's not enough, to producing this stuff. So what are they using? Now what was that? When the McDonald owner that was trying to fake bite the burger?
Oh, yeah.
He was supposed to take that big bite like Burger King did, and he was like, yeah, this is good.
Yeah. Next scene, you're like, all right, cut. Okay,
right.
I have to start chewing.
Yeah.
Crafty.
Babylon is falling, so they got to use something.
Con.
You know?
Yeah, so this last one, we're gonna talk about that more, you know what I mean? As you know, most high willing, we still here. But with this one, it talks about the Campbell soup. Okay. Let's bring that out, King. Ezekiel 4:13.
Con. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 4 and verse 13.
Con.
And the Lord said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whither I will drive them.
Con. So this food is defiled, man. Let's watch this. This is the last video. And don't forget, new moon's coming up Friday, the 15th. May 15th. First fruits coming up the 23rd. All right. So let's get in order. All right. And get things going in the right direction. All right, here we go.
Welcome back to the Jimmy Dore Show. My name is James Lee, filling in for Jimmy. Kurt had to go to a different show, but appreciate everybody for tuning in. We got one final bonus story for you guys. This is an interesting one where the Campbell's Soup, one of the VPs, was caught on a hot mic talking about engineered meat and chicken from a 3D printer. Let's take a listen here.
Former Campbell Soup Company employee is taking legal action against the food giant, and he's making some explosive allegations about one of its top executives. Good evening, and thanks for joining us at 6. I'm Ty Steele.
I'm Kimberly Gill. Those allegations are now at the center of a lawsuit claiming the company's vice president went on an hour-long tirade attacking the company's products and employees before taking aim at its customers.
And the former employee recorded it all. Eric Erickson shares that recording and what the company is saying about it.
We have shit for poor people. Who buys our shit?
And that's just part of an over an hour-long rant, says former security analyst for Campbell's, Robert Garza of Monroe.
I don't buy Campbell's products barely anymore. It's healthy. Now that I know what the in it, even in a can of soup, I look at meat, bioengineered meat. I don't want to eat a piece of chicken that came from a 3D printer.
The recording allegedly of Campbell's VP and Chief Information Security Officer Martin Bally.
He has no filter.
Bally, along with another supervisor and Campbell Soup Company, named in a lawsuit filed Thursday. The suit claiming Bally made racist remarks, admits to coming to work high, and Garza fired for coming forward.
What do you think about the things that he was saying?
Oh, just pure disgust.
Garza said.
All right, so that we appreciate some people like that, just for saying the quiet part out loud, because that's what we need to know, because Campbell Soup is not really real food. So let's find out what this 3D printed meat actually is.
The entire world will start eating meat printed by a printer, and we won't even be able to tell if it's real meat or not. This isn't a plot from Black Mirror, it's our reality unfolding. Here's why printed meat resembles real meat so closely. The 3D printers use special bio-inks to create it. These bio-inks are actually made from stem cells extracted from different animals depending on the desired type of meat: beef, pork, poultry, or even fish. In a laboratory, these cells then multiply, interact, and differentiate into the fat and muscle cells that make up bio-ink. These bio-inks are then intricately layered by specialized 3D printers to construct meat products that closely mimic the texture, taste, and nutritional composition of traditional meats. This is identical to real beef, and when it is ready and served, even the smell is the same. Scientists claim that by using this technology, the environmental impact associated with conventional livestock farming will be greatly reduced.
It always seems to somehow come back to the environment, right? They're saying that we need to get rid of these cows because they're farting too much or whatever it is. And the whole goal is to basically, this is why there's also a war on farmers, is because they want these people, they meaning Bill Gates and all these people who have invested in all this engineered meat companies, they want you to buy this lab-grown meat versus actually eating just real food that we've been doing for thousands of years, because now they have a financial stake in doing so. Because if they can't, or one of the most important things for them to try to do is not only control how you think and all the surveillance and things like that we've talked about, but also to control the food supply. And this is how they're doing it. So let's take a look a little bit of who is actually, who might be the ones that are profiting from this. So there's a few different companies that are producing 3D meat printed products right now. One is called Redefined Meat, that is Israeli based, and they produce whole muscle cuts like steaks, brisket, and pulled pork. 2022, they raised $135 million to scale factories in Israel and the Netherlands, targeting global expansion. There's another company called Good Meat that's based in the US, specializes in 3D printed chicken nuggets and fillets. That sounds real good. From stem cells cultured into tissue and printed into structured forms. They received FDA and USDA approval in 2023. Let's see what else. Stakeholder Foods, Israeli-based as well. 3D printed steaks, fish fillets, grouper eel, and burgers using bio-inks from cultivated cells or plant blends. Yeah, that sounds yummy. What else? Aleph Farms, also Israeli-based. What is this with the Israel-based companies? What are they trying to do here? Created the first 3D printed ribeye steak in 2023 using cultivated bovine cells layered in marbling. Their products emphasize premium cuts and have been approved for sale in Israel. They've partnered with 3D Systems for printing tech. OSEM, Nestle subsidiary, partnered with Savor Eat in 2022 to develop and launch a line of 3D printed plant-based burgers and kebabs. So not only just meat, but also plant-based as well. And then Foodies. So this is a massive market, by the way. It is right now currently $179 million, but expected to grow 16.8% per year between now and 2032. With a projected market size of 692, so basically $700 million market by 2032, a massive market. So this is what they're after. I'm glad, I'm actually glad the Campbell's VP was so honest. So he's a bit of a loose cannon, because now we get to know some of the truth behind. You need, like Kurt was saying before he signed off, we need snitches. And I'm not sure if he was trying to snitch there on purpose or on purpose, but even so, now we know some of the truth, and this is kind of where we're headed. And we need to reject this. We need to say no to this. I know they're brainwashing us to think that there's some kind of environmental cause that we're championing by eating these things. I don't think that's necessarily the case here. So the message that I would like to leave everybody here with today is definitely focus on eating real food. You can't go wrong with real food, focusing on the truth, figuring out who's saying what's happening behind the scenes. Don't be fooled by just narratives and what people tell you that this is what's going on. Look a layer deeper. Who's benefiting from these kinds of things? Who might be pulling the strings? And as always, just, tune into the Jimmy Dore Show. He does it.
Amalek is diabolical, man. Like he's a diabolical beast. You know what I'm saying? And the world can see it, you know, but you know, who wants to eat food printed from a 3D printer? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, what is that going to do to your body? How do you digest stuff like that? Eating stem cells and all that, man. So, you know, we got to take it back to the natural, take it back to the essence. You know what I'm saying? Be real, you know, rice, you know what I'm saying? Peppers, you know, most are willing. The stuff you get is in plastic rice and you know, GMO peppers and stuff. You know what I mean? Just we gotta make our own food. It's a guy on Instagram that he's funny. He'd be like, hey, I'm going in front of KFC. We're going to see what's good. You see any of these? What's good things you can eat in KFC? There's nothing effing good you can eat in KFC. It's raw chicken. Stop being effing lazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're all funny. You keep you going, keep you like, man, you're right, man. You know what I'm saying? Make your own food. Fast food means fast death, man. You know what I'm saying? Make your own food. If you're lucky enough, or I'm lucky, blessed enough to have like a farmer's market near you, you know what I'm saying? Get that type of food, the local food or whatever. When you start getting, you know, packaged, prepackaged, processed food, that's why everybody getting diabetes, heart disease, all types of, you know, problems. It's the stuff that we putting in our body for real. You know what I mean? Drinking soda after soda, like it's diabetes juice, man. You know what I'm saying? Get a gallon of water, get some tea,
hibiscus tea.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's good. You know, that's you feel refreshed, you know what I'm saying? Nice cold hibiscus tea, you know. So let's move in the direction of being the kings and the daughters of Zion on the earth. We got to be here for longevity. Let's not let them take us out through the food. You know what I mean? We're not ignorant of Esau's devices. We're not ignorant of the devil's devices. So let's sidestep that jab or that hook that they throwing. You know what I mean? And come back with our own two-piece. Okay. Kwom Yasha'Allah, Dawada, Yatai, you know what I mean? I'm in the reading. We gonna get this thing moving in the right direction. And like I was bringing out, new moon this Friday, first fruits coming up. You know what I mean? Get your donations in. Get prepared. You know what I mean, for an amazing time. You know what I mean? All praise and honor to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. July 4th coming up. So let's lock in, y'all. Prepare ourselves for what the future will bring. Kwom Yashala. We got next. Shalom.
Shalom.
All praises.
All praises.
House of Israel. Philadelphia. HOI. Brotherly love. We see you.